Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Good morning. I have my warm lemon water, pinch of sea salt, and I also have my coffee close at hand. It's not what I recommend if you're gonna do lemon water, of course, but last night I literally woke up at 3 a.m. Out of nowhere. I was having a bad dream. I was having a dream that somebody was trying to break into my house, and I was trying to protect my dogs and my baby. It was weird. I mean, not crazy. It was more like somebody's drunk uncle or something trying to force their way in, and I'm they're not here. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so happy to be here with you guys. Going to be discussing something that I don't like to discuss, right? So I think that this is a good time for me to give you guys my stance on weight loss, losing weight, what have you. And listen, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, I don't like speaking about weight loss, and I don't like, mentioning it, because in marketing they tell you, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to use the language that your audience uses, and that's what you guys say to me all the time. You guys want to lose weight. You guys are interested in weight loss, and for that, I'm totally behind you. I think that you should want and have whatever you want, and you deserve to. But my message, right? My message just it's not that you should, it's what having weight loss as your main focus might just keep it further away from you. That's why it doesn't really serve me to have that message about weight loss. So I'm not a weight loss coach, and I don't teach you exactly how to lose weight. What I'm going to do is teach you more so how to fall in love with, the process, right? The fitness, the nutrition, the lifestyle, in yourself. Really, that's what my message is, because, and if I shied away from using these terms, I'm not in alignment with using the terms, right? Weight loss, losing weight, and things like that. It's not my steez, right? I'm not sitting here showing you guys a bunch of before and after photos. But if I don't, right, then there's going to be a bunch of other diet culture people using that message to probably sell you pills and detox teas and Lord knows what else. So I'm not against using the terms and lose, I think it's touchy, subject these days, right? A lot of things are a little touchy. This girl yesterday, actually, in one of my coaching groups and stuff, she actually said that, because she's what is it called, intuitive eating. She's an intuitive eating counselor. So she'd actually lose her credentials if she uses the word weight loss, because it's just against, that first ideal. So again, anybody that uses these words, intuitive, eating and things like that, there's a very specific kind of way to do those things. So anybody that uses it loosely probably doesn't know what they're talking about. So so I'm not against using the terms, because like I said, if I don't, somebody else will, and they're going to be giving you information that's not really going to help you in the long run, right? And maybe it'll help you for a short amount of time, but they're not really going to be lifelong results. Okay, so that's my stance on weight loss. Not my favorite thing to bring up, but I always respect where you're at and why you're doing what you're doing. So I just want to make sure that good morning, that your mindset is at its best, right? So that you can go on the journey that you want to go on, because you deserve to do that. So, and this is kind of what brings me to mindfulness for weight loss. I only have one weight loss story, right? My whole life, I have been a very, very active person, active girl. I ran track, I danced, all the free things that I could possibly do, right? Nothing that required equipment or a team. So I'm genuine, love, running and dancing and doing all those things. So because I love it, I've always seen those activities as feel-good activities. Yes, I'm not of course I've used, fitness to gain a certain aesthetic, especially because for so much of my life, my career has depended on the way I looked. So you would think I'd have more of a like stigma, or like more of a like stigma or something like that, with when in regards to how I look. But I actually have the opposite. Like the more I saw how people, and if you guys don't know, like I was a cocktail server for like over 10 years. I was in LA, and like while I was like I was in LA for college. And when I graduated in a recession, so I was doing a lot of modeling, a lot of like acting, commercials, things like that. My whole like adult life depended on the way I looked. And yeah, I have to say, like, kudos to me, it didn't phase me too much. Never put any plastic things in my body. And again, I have nothing against any of those things at all. Just not for me, maybe yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Yeah, so I've always been a very active girl. So for that, I just love the feeling of running. I love the feeling of dancing. It makes me feel good. And yes, I can get a better aesthetic because of it. So it was hard for me to relate a little bit to a lot of you guys. And it was hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that you guys have these like really, that you guys only worked out to look good or to lose weight or to do this or to do that. So I've actually finally understood after I had, my baby, because I had, my postpartum body. And that's when I realized like my mindfulness practice really served me during that time. And I'll tell you guys why, because it's not about losing weight. Okay. It's about what are the stories that you're telling yourself about losing weight. And like, if it's like, oh, I want to lose weight because I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. And that's the loop and belief that you're playing over in your mind. Well, that's not healthy, right? That's not healthy in any level, right? And that's where that's my message to you, and that's like my mission to you is like, what are those stories that you're telling yourself, right? If it's like whatever it is, I'm not good enough, whatever's playing in your mind, that's what we need to pay attention to. Okay, so when I experience my experience basically with weight loss, I had a postpartum body, okay? And so when that happened, like, I was like, man, I don't like this. I don't like the way I look. And anybody that I told, they'd be like, oh, you just had a baby, it's okay, whatever. And they would just really brush me off. And I'm like, okay. And then like I was flooded by, images on social media of like these postpartum women, that are kind of wearing their saggy skin and rolls and stretch marks with like honor and being like, I love my body, I love my body. And I'm like, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that. And I don't feel like I love my body. Like if my body at that point, right, and my body had gone through so much, it had gone through so much stress, physically, mentally, emotionally, so much stress with my pregnancy. If at that point my body was a person, they were just simply an acquaintance. I was like, why do I have to love this person? I just met them. Like, they're not going to be here for that long, so why do I have to like love my body? It didn't feel genuine to me. What did feel genuine to me, right, was that I was proud as fuck of my body. I really was. So if love is here, proud is here, and that's okay. I feel like that's okay. And that's what mindfulness is. It's just paying attention on purpose to what stories you're telling yourself. I wasn't like, oh, I hate my body, I hate myself. Like not liking exactly where you are is not also, you also don't have to be self-loathing at the same time. Just because you don't necessarily like your body where you are at the moment, it doesn't mean that it's like you're self-loathing and that you hate yourself at the same time. But if it does, if you are playing those stories, then you really need to take a good look and you need to pay attention on purpose, because that's what mindfulness is. It's just paying attention on purpose. Okay, so pay attention of what the stories that you're telling yourself, because that's where the work is. That's where we need to do work. Because if you start changing, like you start working out, you start doing all the things, it's going to be an uphill battle for you. So start at that story, at that limiting belief that you're telling yourself. What is that, right? And so for me, I was good to say, I'm proud as fuck as my body. I wasn't maybe in love with my body. Again, to me, it was just an acquaintance, okay? And I think this is an unpopular opinion because, like I said, I felt pressured to love my body. I felt pressured, like, you just had a baby, you should love yourself. That I'm like, I love myself. I just don't like the way I look. My boobs are down to my belly button. Like, I still look like I'm 4 months pregnant. Like, this sucks. Like, I can't, like, not only that, but I'm keep getting injured. My baby was like, listen, like, Noemi was like almost 9 pounds when she was born. She was a little ham. She was like, I couldn't even hold her. Like, my body was too weak. So I was, I wasn't happy with the way my body was at the moment. Plain and simple. And that's okay. When you lean into things like that, you get more curious about it, and you can be real with yourself. So when you're able to do that, you just release like its power. Like, if you were like, oh, I need to lose weight, and like, oh, like, I like whatever, like, it's too much. Instead, just like, or I shouldn't feel like this, I shouldn't feel like this. Instead, just lean into it, be cool with how you feel, understand where you are on an emotional scale, right? If you're like, I hate my body, I hate myself, you're down here. Let's work on that. If I'm like I'm just proud of my body. Cool, let's go from there. Let's hold that there until we can move up. There's really, and in mindfulness, you practice non-judgment, right? So the fact that I was able to just, despite the pressure of like loving my body, just say like, I'm cool. I'm good. This is not neither good nor bad. It just is. I am just at the level that I'm at, and that's it. Okay. The fact that I was able to do that was like, it made my process that I took afterwards not only more pleasurable and I felt more grateful for it, but it also allowed me to just kind of like create, like, I literally, because like I went to like the workout classes, and I went to the gym and things like that, and I had hired a nanny for that time for like a hot second, and like she was only there for like 2-3 hours or something. So it took me like the whole time to get to my workout class or to get to the gym that she was there. So I'm like, that's my whole free time. I'm like, this kind of sucks. So then I decided I'm just going to stay home and work out. And so I tried a bunch of apps and things like that. And to me, they were just boring. So I created my own thing. I knew I liked my workouts. So I just did that. And I did that for like 8 weeks. And I did it for 5 days a week. And every single day that I checked in with myself, I'm telling you, it was not even hard to make it onto my mat. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. So maybe I didn't make it during Noemi's nap times, but I made it like when she fell asleep. Even if it was 7 o'clock at night that I was working out, I still made it onto my mat, and it felt really good. Every single day. It wasn't even hard. I'm telling you guys, I was so proud of myself at the end of those 8 weeks that I made it every single day onto my mat. I couldn't even believe it. Like, I was just like, wow, like, I can't believe that I did that. And I feel like it does take that time. It does take a very committed amount of time, a lot of work up front to be able to get to a place in your life where it's just part of your lifestyle, that if you miss a day, you don't feel like, oh, I missed a day, oh, I feel guilty, things like that. Because we want to remove all of those negative feelings and emotions. Like, life is too short for a lot of those things, right? So you want to be real with yourself. You want to pay attention on purpose, what's really going on, what are you really thinking, what beliefs are really looping through your mind. And you also want to, practice that kindness and non-judgment. Like, I was kind to myself when I felt that. I was like, it wasn't the best thing to feel, right? But I was like, you're good. You just had a baby. You can feel however you want. And then judgment was like, that's neither good nor bad. And then that's what releases the power that those thoughts have on you. So the more that you can just kind of be like, this is not good or bad, it just is it is what it is, and I am where I am, the more you'll see that it just kind of, you're able to like be more open to the solutions, more open to the answers that you're looking for to kind of get you to the place that you want to be. Okay, so it's like, that's literally the formula for mindfulness and weight loss, right? So you are allowed to want what you want, but just, you really have to be real with yourself and pay attention on purpose on what beliefs that you're looping through your mind. And then I created the Power Through series like that. I didn't create just the Power Through series. I created an 8-week program, and then I started breaking those things up, and now I have the Power Through series. And then I realized that more people needed what I was doing, what I had already done, because that was my postpartum period, which was exactly like a pandemic in my opinion. And then the pandemic hit, and I was kind of like, oh, I'm good. I work out at home. I'm already here. So, and then I knew I had already felt everything that people were already feeling in terms of like being at home, because that's what postpartum is. So that's why I created the mindset aspect to the Power Through series, because so that you can find out what those limiting beliefs are, so that you can see how, like, you can create your dream life off your mat by practicing whatever you're practicing on your mat, that mindfulness. And then I added mindfulness into the nutrition program, in the nutrition guide that I give you in those Power Through series, because that's really how you approach things. You approach things light and easy and mindfully, not like rigid and eliminating things and doing all sorts of stuff that's just not going to be sustainable for you. So that's really why I created that. So something amazing really did come out of me just being okay with where I was, practicing that mindfulness during my own weight loss journey. So that's how you do it. Practice that, non-judgment. Really pay attention to what's going on. Meet yourself with kindness and curiosity. See what would work for you, what feels good for you. Start trusting what your mind and body are asking you for. Those classes that I would go to, they were too hard for me where I was at that level. I felt silly. I felt stupid. I felt like, like, oh, I got, like, they're gonna, and on top of that, I had the pressure of being an instructor, right? Like, they're probably like, this girl doesn't know how to do push-ups. No, I didn't know how to do push-ups. I was too weak. I couldn't even hold my 9-pound baby, So, it was too much, like, being out there and having to modify. I couldn't believe anybody that didn't have the knowledge that I do, going out there and modifying these classes on their own. It's like, as in a group fitness class, like, it's hard for just one instructor to go and give you every single modification that you might need. So, at home, it might be a little bit easier, a little bit better. You can pause, you can say, hey, like, what do I do here? So, something great came out of my experience. So, to kind of wrap things up, sum things up, unless anybody here has any questions. I know there's a few of you guys watching, and if you missed this, I hope you guys go back and watch the beginning, because you'll see like how I feel about weight loss and things like that. I don't mind talking about it whatsoever. It's just not what I'm going to always lead with. My goal here with this platform is to really show you how to just love the process, because ultimately, I know this is not the sexiest thing. Like, sometimes I feel like people want me to tell them what they can't do, just so that they can say, like, almost like fail at it and be like, see, I couldn't do it. I couldn't give up carbs my whole life, or whatever. It's like, that's not the point that I'll ever make to you. And yeah, so that's my stance on weight loss and mindfulness, and that's how you can do it as well. Okay, so just, again, very simple things. Pay attention on purpose. Meet yourself with kindness. And I know this sounds super fluffy, but I'm nothing fluffy. There's nothing fluffy about me. There's nothing fluffy about my classes. So that it's more so just a mindset thing. Just get yourself to a place where you can really enjoy the process and accept this kind of like more of a lifestyle, because that's the only way that this is going to be sustainable. So if you learn to just appreciate it, and like, if you apply mindfulness just to your workout, you'll realize like, wow, I really love this. I really love my body. Wow, I can really do things. And that's what we do during my classes, is that you really, and I can say this with so much certainty, because that's all the feedback that I get. That's all the feedback that I get. I really do pride myself with, being the like the, what is it called, the well, anyways, I pride myself on having just so many rookies in my class, people that have never thought that they would exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week, and they just found something that they loved, and they learned to like love the process. They learn to, appreciate the fact that they can do something one week, and then they couldn't do something one week, and then the next week they got it, they like could, like, there's like this sense of like real accomplishment and just joy, like, and that's why I like these what I do, and with my whole method here My whole wellness method here is all about, just falling in love with like the progress, and happiness is in the progress. It's not in the end result, because at the end of those 8 weeks, I was so proud. Yeah, but it literally lasted a whole hot second, so it's a forever thing, you know? So, okay, you guys, I'm gonna head off now. Unless you guys have any questions, I'm gonna post this because IG Live is finicky. I'm gonna post this and then I'm gonna update the caption later. But oh, I have a little announcement. I'm gonna be doing another Power Through series soon, and I'm going to take on, I think, 10 girls to do like an accountability boot camp. So for the whole 4 weeks, love you, Mel. I'll be taking on 4 of you guys through that whole process. So if you guys want to apply for that, you can DM me and just tell me like why you need the accountability, why you want this, and I'll be happy to consider you. All right, you guys, speak soon.